Welcome, witnesses. It's good to see you again. There's a bit of mixed news today that I need to share with you. Pellet has been busy watching over the party and helping me keep tabs on them. Despite their initial distrust of my little friend, they eventually accepted him. He came bearing my message and a scroll of Dimension Door. I warned them that one of them was compromised by the darkness. I warned them not to trust the void. I warned them about the cult of Volatar and that Chia's mother had been taken here. I told them that the Blackwood's transformation would be completed with a ritual here. The Kalashtar cleric, turns out, was frozen in time 1800 years ago. She says when she was encased in that crystal that she lost her father and does not know what else she has lost since she was imprisoned here. The Raven Queen showed herself to both her and Valhir, showing that she is who she says she is, and this seems to put the party at ease. They seemed to welcome her. But it is at that time that things begin to fall apart. Volatar begins to speak to Chia and implores her to free it. It tells her that it is the one that provides her with her powers, and that when she frees it, it will help her to restore the Feywilds and restore all that is lost, that it will return her all that she has lost. Its honeyed words drip into her ears, and she eagerly listens, her attention focused upon this dark entity. She latches on to every word, despite my warnings. It tells her of the 13 keys needed to free it from its bondage. The others begin to notice Chia entering this trance-like state, and Gadu attempts to comfort her, but dark chains begin to wrap around her. The party immediately springs to Chia's aid, attempting to help her, but instead entering into her mind via this connection with this dark entity. They all see her interacting with this creature, but they all see something different. It takes a different form to everyone, as no mind can truly comprehend the form of it. The actual evil and power that it embodies is unrecognizable and incomprehensible to everyone. A being wrapped in chains with tentacles. A being trapped in a world folded in half. A large gargantuan humanoid with skeletal-like fingers wrapped in chains. A dark tree wrapped in black tendrils. A deeply oppressive darkness with a wolf hidden just barely in view. To me, it came as a perverse and twisted version of the Weave. A vision of a future that Mistral could have never imagined. Something she would have never allowed. An aberration to the arcane. Something that seemed to both absorb and twist everything that it touched. But Chia saw something much different. A version that no one else saw. The version that it wanted her to see. She sees a version of the Feywild. A positive version from her mind. She sees Herbie in the wild around her. She sees life here, new growth of plants there, animals making homes, the promise of beauty and the future, hope. This is a powerful thing that young Chia is just not equipped to combat. She is unable to resist its charms as its chains wrap tighter, and it brings her closer and closer. Heiko yells her name and attempts to reach her, but she is unfazed by his interventions as Volatar presses even harder. It promises to bring back all those that have died in her life. It seeks to win her trust and strike a bargain. It wants her to set it free. The party tries numerous things to convince Chia that the entity is dangerous. Valhir manifests his echo in her mind and attempts to convince her that the thing is the evil that the Archivist, that I warned them about. But she is too far under its spell, and she doesn't believe it. She tells him that this could be the way to bring his father back to life. He heeds my warning. He doesn't believe it. He tells her that this is a dark way. Gadu summons Tolo into her mind as well, but the creature kicks them out of the manifestation in anger. But she is so far gone now. Trapped in a turbulent, dark sea, she is now under this dark cloud. The creature tells her to say its name 3 times when she is ready to strike a deal. Now, kicked out of the manifestation, our heroes combat their own sanity at what they've seen. It rends at their minds. Heiko and Nelius are crippled with a sickness of the mind. Voltar has planted a seed within them, imploring them against their will to spread the word of Volatar and do its bidding. Some in the party begin to doubt my allegiance to them. So I utilize Pellet to attack their enemies, killing a group of skeletons outright. This alleviates their concerns for a moment, but I fear that Volatar will attempt to turn them against me if I am not vigilant. He has much the same ideas as I, attacking through Chia to earn her trust. He then tells Chia that the voices chanting are not evil and will point her towards the keys that are needed to release him. But Chia makes a deal with Voltar that she will help him should he help her. Despite my warnings, she strikes a deal. And it is as I have feared. The party moves forward. Chia finds her mother being attacked and seemingly about to be killed. She goes to call out, and Nelius attempts to silence her with a mage hand, but Volatar breaks the spell, again to earn Chia's trust, and Chia uses the power that Volatar has lent her to stop the attack. And the party convinces her to spare the 2 combatants, as there is a question as to whom of the 2 is actually her mother. Instead, they choose to put them to sleep. They continue on to a ritual chamber and find Orthax getting scolded due to his failures and having his power removed as a punishment. And in attendance are the mouth, the right hand, and the left hand of Volatar. Lord and Lady Blackwood are there, resisting the influence of Volatar as a ritual is beginning to attempt to force them into his service. And there is a child there as well, who is about to be sacrificed in service of this ritual. Our heroes jump into action to attempt to save this child, and as they do, a large beast of shadow appears. A chaos troll of Volatar appears as the mouth and hands of Volatar disappear. And at that moment, Gadu is banished at the onset of the conflict, and Nelius attacks Orthax mercilessly in vengeance for his dead brother, blasting him into an open portal to a plane of dread and severing Orthax's arm. He calls on the power of another evil entity, something almost as ancient as Volatar, almost as evil. He calls upon the Archlich Vecna, the Whispered One, another competing evil. And as Orthax lands in this plane of dread, he sees that also in this plane is Drax. And the portal closes. It is in this moment that Heiko seizes the distraction to attack the creature and kills it. Its form begins to shift and shrink, and it reveals itself as Chia's mother. Innocent blood has been spilt. Then the ritual has been completed. The void makes itself visible and tells the party that the sacrifice has been accepted, and lets them know that they can trade this child's life for Chia's mother's life. But if they do, she will come back as a vessel for Volatar. But there's another way. It offers It offers something greater. If they bring back the 13 keys and free Volatar, they will bring Chia's mother back as she was. Chia is struck by grief. She's upset, sorrow-stricken, angry, confused, and still very much compromised by this evil that she's accepted. She blames everyone for this, except for herself, Volatar, and the Void. Some of the members even question me and my motives in all of this. In the middle of all this chaos, they find Gadu trapped in a mirror, watching the events of his past play out. They see one of the keys that releases Volatar in this vision in the mirror. They watch as Gadu relives the moments of his exile. They see him find Onri, his spirit owl. They watch his entrance into the Feywild. The party then tries desperately to resurrect Chia's mother with a scroll of resurrection, but they can't read it. The scroll is turned completely to deep speech. It has been turned this way by Volatar. With no other options, Chia eyes the child, wishing to sacrifice it to save her mother. The party attempts to talk her out of it. For a while, she seems assured in her choice. And I cannot watch this any further. I instruct Pellet to remove the child, teleport it away to safety. Pellet does as I instruct, and I know. I should not intervene. But I cannot let her fall any further. I cannot watch this spiral any more out of control and watch her murder an innocent. This I cannot do. I have lost hope and faith in Chia. I have lost trust in her motives. She is compromised by the darkness and cannot be trusted. She has lost her way and is blinded by her sorrow. This is where things get even more troubling, for I was not quick enough in my actions. Yes, I saved the child, but I thought that if I acted quick enough, perhaps I could protect Chia and perhaps speak to her in some way, intervene in a way that perhaps I could save her myself, show her another way, bring her to the light. But it seems that her darkness, her internal struggles with her own inherent evil has been noticed by a very powerful being. Lord Thamor and the Inquisition of Pelor have taken notice of the actions of Chia. I do not know how they were able to notice so soon, but they have. Perhaps they are also scrying upon the party. I do not know. What I do know is that the Inquisition of Pelor is nothing to toy with. They will stop at nothing to strike at the heart of evil, even if that evil lies in the heart of a small satyr woman whose prophecy has said is destined to be a hero of Volantia. They will burn and purge out corruption at any cost. Having even one inquisitor on your trail is enough to give even the most powerful of entities cause for alarm, but to have Lord Thamor himself taking a serious look at your motives, that is enough to send someone into a self-imposed exile. That is a near-death sentence. It is as if Pelor himself is ready to punish your transgressions. There is There is some good news, though. There is a rather large carnival event that the heroes are headed towards, the Festival of Chris. It is a festival that celebrates Valantia and all of its seasons. It is named after Chris, a two-headed moonstone dragon who is a secret sibling of Bahamut and Tiamat. And this carnival will mesh together both the Witchlight carnivals and the Chris carnival for an amazing extravaganza. I think this respite, this festivity, may be exactly what they need. Maybe they can recenter. Maybe they can once again find the reasons why they're doing this in the first place. Something to fight for, something to believe in, the goodness that exists within them. I can only hope. I know they are the prophesied ones, so I know at some point this has to turn. It is always darkest before the dawn, is what they say, so perhaps this is where the dawn begins. Perhaps the sun rises here. Maybe this run-in with the Inquisition will open their eyes. I can only hope. Also, I have been studying the keys and their possible iterations in the world. I do believe that one of the keys is closer than our heroes think. In fact, I think one of the keys is being carried by one of the heroes already, and they don't even know it. On the topic of these keys, I have observed dark forces moving throughout the land, searching for something. And all the forces, except for a small force in Dragon Maw Keep, are looking. I assume for the keys. And from what I can tell, Dragon Maw Keep looks almost abandoned, except for that small force. You ask me if there's any way to save Chia from the influence, and I have to believe that there is. I believe deep down that Chia is good. I have seen it. I know that she is. But right now, she's lost. She's lost somewhere deep down. We have to show her the light. We have to help her. She has to be shown the error of her ways. I know that she's lost hope. Things have been very difficult. They've been hard. She's lost a lot. But she cannot lose hope. The flame inside has to be rekindled. If we lose Chia, I don't know what that means for the prophecy. All I ask of you, witnesses, keep your eyes peeled. Help me help the party. If you see something that we can do to help, let me know. Pellet is keeping an eye out. I am doing what I can, but when I'm scrying on them, my vision is focused. I'm not able to see all of the things that you can. I'm not only trying to focus on my concentration to keep the window open for you, but on Pellet. You need to be my eyes. You need to be my ears. If something needs to be done, let me know. Together we can do this. Pellet is going to stay with them for as long as it takes. I can influence things through him. He's going to act as a medium for me. I think that the party's accepted him. And if not, if something has changed, if Voltar turns them against us, I'll have him follow from afar. But we can't lose hope. Even when it looks desperate, when it looks dire, we have to maintain hope. We have to believe even when they don't. Because without that hope, without that belief, without that faith, all is lost. You've been doing great. I couldn't ask for anything more. Stay vigilant. Until next time, witnesses. Mind the fate. Keep your destiny close. There are more adventures to be had if we can simply keep the faith.